If you've ever wondered how people used to keep food fresh before electricity, just look to the Amish. My neighbors down the road, a quiet, hard-working Amish family, have been preserving food the same way their grandparents did. No fridges, no freezers, no modern gadgets. And yet, every winter, their pantry is full. It's taken me a while to understand just how much time and care goes into what they do. But after a few seasons of watching and even helping out a little, I've come to appreciate their system more than any modern method I know. What stands out isn't just how much they preserve, but the precision behind it. Every jar, every shelf, every batch of food has its place and purpose. It usually starts in early summer. As soon as the first vegetables are ready to pick, green beans, peas, radishes, the work begins. Not the kind of rushed, chaotic work you'd expect. It's slow, methodical. Someone picks the beans while someone else washes jars. The stove is already warming up, even though the sun is beating down outside. They use big pots, some of them look older than I am, to boil the food. Everything is sanitized, clean. The jars are filled while still steaming hot, sealed with care, then set upside down to cool. Later, they're lined up on shelves, each one labeled in pencil. Beans 2025, tomatoes 2025, peaches 2025. Their canning sessions feel like rituals. No one's on their phone, no one's in a hurry. The kids help, even the little ones. And they're not just told what to do, they're shown patiently how to do it right. There's something beautiful about that, passing down a skill, not just doing a task. In midsummer, the kitchen smells like vinegar and dill. That's when it's time for pickling. Cucumbers, carrots, even some fruits like watermelon rind. Everything goes into jars. Sugar, vinegar, spices, all from memory. No written recipes, no measurements, just taste and feel. Later in the season, it's tomatoes, dozens of them, washed, peeled, boiled down into sauce, or simply packed into jars whole. That's the real heart of their pantry, rows and rows of tomatoes, red as rubies, tightly sealed, lined up like soldiers on the shelf. But it's not just canning. They also dry food. Apples sliced and laid out on screens in the attic where the heat does all the work. Herbs are bundled and hung from wooden beams, filling the air with the smell of mint, basil, and thyme. Corn gets strung up on lines, left to dry in the barn. Later, it'll be ground into cornmeal by hand. They also store things in root cellars, cool underground rooms lined with shelves and bins. Potatoes, carrots, onions, turnips. Some are packed in sand or sawdust to keep them from sprouting. Apples, too, the hard kind that last through the cold months. What's really interesting is how every part of the plant is used. Pea pods become broth. Corn husks are dried for crafts. Even beet water is reused to pickle eggs. There's almost no waste. And what little is left over goes to the animals or the compost pile. There's a real rhythm to it all. You start in spring, and by the end of fall, you've built up enough food to last deep into winter. No constant trips to the store, no panic about expiration dates, just rows of colorful jars and bins of vegetables, all made and stored with care. They don't call it homesteading or prepping. It's just life. It's normal for them. But to me, it feels like something we've lost. That self-reliance, that trust in your own hands and your own work. The food tastes better too, not just because it's homemade, but because it's earned. Even something as simple as opening a jar of peaches in January feels like magic. The color, the smell, the flavor, it's like a bit of summer snuck into winter, and you know exactly where it came from. There's also the communal aspect. It's not unusual for neighbors to help each other out during big preserving days, especially if someone is older or has a large harvest. It becomes social. Conversation flows while beans are snapped or lids are tightened. No phones, no distractions, just people doing something useful together. And it's not limited to vegetables and fruit. They preserve meat too, not in freezers, but by curing, smoking, or pressure canning. One family I met smoked sausage in a small outbuilding next to their barn using wood they chopped themselves. Others cure hams with salt and hang them for months. These aren't hobbyists. This is their food supply. I once asked how they know when something is preserved correctly without modern tools. The answer was simple: experience. They can hear if a jar didn't seal right. They can smell if something's off. They trust their senses, not labels or apps. And then there's storage. Everything is organized. Oldest jars in the front, newest in the back. Nothing is wasted. If something does spoil, it's rare, and they know why it happened. They learn from it and fix it next time. The Amish don't preach their methods, and they don't show off. They just do it because it works, because it always has. Watching them has changed the way I see food. It's not just something you grab from a shelf. It's work, it's planning, it's care. I've started preserving a few things myself. I'm not great at it yet, but every jar I seal feels like a small win, a connection to something older, something slower, something better. If you've ever thought about trying it, start small. A few jars of pickles, a tray of dried apples. You'll learn, and you'll gain something more than just food. You'll gain the satisfaction that comes with knowing you made it last. If this kind of life, or even parts of it, speak to you the way they've come to speak to me, stick around. I'm not Amish, but I've learned more from watching them than I have from most books or blogs. Subscribe if you want to see more of this world, not romanticized, not dramatized, just real people doing real things that actually work. Thanks for watching.